shaped package containing an automatic scientific station they would assemble. A station designed to continue broadcasting data to Earth for a year after men departed from Morrow.
Okay, Houston, we're proceeding over a very fine-grained regolith we described before. Good heavens, that's a deep hole. Going down in a depression. Deep, very deep depression, compared to what it looked like.
Right here, you're visible from about the armpits up right now.
Nothing like being up to your armpits in lunar dust.
Finding a suitable site to place the scientific instruments was the next order of business. Shepard and Mitchell now began setting up the automated scientific laboratory. A small nuclear generator to power the array. The central station to transmit data to Earth. A seismometer to detect and measure activity on and within the moon. A series of 3 experiments to measure charged particles near the lunar surface. An independent experiment to reflect laser beams from Earth, enabling extremely precise measurements of such things as Earth-to-moon distance, the wobble of the Earth's axis, continental drift, and shifts of the Earth's crust. And a mortar to be fired by a signal from Earth sometime within the next year. The impact of its charges would be picked up by Apollo 14's seismometer. As a final exercise, Mitchell used the Thumper, 44 pounds of lunar material aboard the lunar module, and after 4 hours and 50 minutes on the surface, climbed back into Antares. As Shepard and Mitchell rested, Stuart Roosa continued his work from lunar orbit. His photographs would have meaning not only to the scientific community, but would have direct bearing on the planning for coming missions.
Yeah, it's nice to be up. A sunny day again. Yeah, it's a beautiful day here at Small Morrow Base.
12 hours, 40 minutes later, Shepard and Mitchell began their second exploration period. After loading the lunar rickshaw, Mitchell began the journey to Cone Crater. Shepard adjusted the television camera, then hurried to join his partner.
Okay, Houston, we're headed just about toward the center of Cone Crater. Okay, point A, Al, is right. It's not quite in the valley, it's right beyond over here. Okay, this is probably pretty good.
Point A, the first stop on the trip to Cone. Here they would collect and document samples, measure the local magnetic field, and take core tube samples from beneath the surface layer.
This is a good place for A. They have an appearance here quite often like raindrops. A very few raindrops have splattered the surface.
The quality of the scientific description by the astronauts could be termed by Earth-based scientists only as excellent. But now Shepard and Mitchell pushed on. After a brief stop at a second survey site, they began their assault on Cone Crater, a climb not only toward the summit of a lunar mountain, but back through time.
A large crater acts in many respects like a drill, throwing out material from deep beneath the surface. This material should be very different from any we've collected before, perhaps dating back to the origins of the moon and even the solar system.
And we're starting uphill now. Climb's fairly gentle at this point, but it's definitely uphill. inside this big crater. Okay, take a break, get the map, see if we can find out exactly where we are.
The maps they were using had been made from photography from lunar orbit. The hummocks, craters, ridges, and boulders took on a new appearance when seen from the surface.
The limb looks like it's got a flat over there the way it's leaning. Start on up toward the rim? Yeah, just 1 second though. Hey, pull a while out. We're having all the fun. And the grade's getting pretty steep. Al's got the back of the mitt now, and we're cheering it up. I think it seems easier. Well, I tell you, we're really going to get a panorama. We got a tremendous one here, Houston, already. And we're not quite to the rim. But the rocks and boulders getting more numerous toward the top here. Okay, well now that's apparently the rim of cone over there. And we're about there. And we're about almost 2 hours now. That's at least 30 minutes up there. It's going to take longer than we expected.
Now they were working against time, against the oxygen and water left in their backpacks, against the alien terrain. Top a ridge, thinking it's the rim of the crater, and there's another ridge ahead of you.
I don't think we'll have time to go up there. Oh, let's give it a whirl. Gee whiz, we can't stop without looking in the cone crater. Okay. Well, press on a little further, Houston, and keep our eye on the time.
Okay, and so right now we have a 30-minute extension.
Looks like we'll be approaching the rim here very shortly. Okay, we better reconnoiter here. I don't see the crater yet. Agreed.
Standing in a boulder field surrounded by rocks 10 to 12 feet long, the astronauts made their most difficult decision. With the concurrence of mission control, they stopped their climb, less than 150 feet from the edge, to begin the more important job of collecting samples.
The crew had no way of realizing they were so close. It was a week after the mission before we determined this by photographic analysis.
While they could overcome the terrain, they could not beat the steady drain of oxygen from their backpacks. In the terms of scientific meaning, the decision not to go on to the rim meant little. In human terms, a great disappointment.
One of these boulders, Fredo, is broken open. They're really brown boulders on the outside, and the interface that's broken is white. And there's another one that most of it is white. They're right in the same area.
The white rock is of different composition to the Apollo 11 and 12 rocks. In fact, the chemistry of all the rocks that have been looked at so far is different to those rocks. Potassium and uranium are 10 times higher, which are the sort of values we might expect if the Fra Mauro rocks represent ancient lunar crust, which of course is what we're all hoping.
Again, it was time. Time to head back to the lunar module.
We're approaching the rim now. Coming into Fra Mauro base.
After a quick side trip to check on the science station, they loaded the lunar module with samples and data and stepped off the lunar surface. The second expedition had lasted 4 hours and 35 minutes, a total exploration of a record 9.5 hours. 33.5 hours after they landed, Alan Shepard and Edgar Mitchell lifted off in the silent vacuum of the moon.
Gas engine is armed. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1. 0. This will be ignition. What a liftoff. And liftoff. Roger, ignition. Pitch over. 10 seconds. Roger. Hey, baby. Pitch over is good. Steering looks good, Houston. Roger, you're looking good from down here, Al. Coming up on 1 minute.
Half an hour later, Stuart Russo watched their progress from Kitty Hawk.
What are you doing way down there, oh fearless one? You've lost a little weight since the last time I saw you.
Houston, Antares, the station keeping at about 100 feet, closing in a little more for the victims of the service module and command module.
Okay, shall do a loop later.
Okay, make it smooth.
And around we go.
Show us a little style. Oh, you look good.
There I was at 240,000 coming over the top.
That's our home away from home. Would you believe 360,000? Yeah. Kitty Hawk is doing an extremely smooth loop. We're sitting at 70 feet, watching him go around. He looks very clean.
The inspection complete, Antares and Kitty Hawk moved together for docking.
Apollo 14, this is Houston. Your go for the docking. Roger, we got you.
Okay, we captured. And we got a hard dock.
That big sigh of relief being breathed around here.
They transferred the gear from Antares to Kitty Hawk, buttoned up the tunnel, then jettisoned the lunar module. It would crash into the moon at a predetermined spot. Its impact picked up by their seismometer and the seismometer left by Apollo 12 over a year earlier. 149 hours after they left Earth, they performed the burn that broke them out of lunar orbit. During the coast to Earth, there would be time to catch up on sleep, relax, and do all the little things, the basic physical properties of matter in zero gravity. Studies that could lead eventually to new materials manufactured in space for use on Earth. On February 9th, 1971, 9 days after they left Earth, the crew of Apollo 14 hit the atmosphere of their planet at a speed of over 24,000 miles per hour. They hurtled toward Earth, a meteor heading home. On board, 95 pounds of the moon.
Extremely important. It relates to the question of why we're fooling around with the moon. It's really that the imprint of history, of solar system history, on the Earth-Moon system is centered on the moon for the first billion years.